Hello and welcome to Always Elite. Today we're going to review AEW Dynamite from October 28th, 2020. Starts off with Wardlow and MJF talking about Wardlow's upcoming match. MJF says that if Wardlow wins the whole tournament, that MJF essentially is the world champion as well after he defeats whoever is the champ at the time. Then Sammy Guevara walks in, tells MJF he will never let MJF join the Inner Circle. Then it's the semifinal match for the #1 contendership to the AEW World Title between Wardlow and Adam Page. Page starts off fast with a quick, hard shots, but with one punch, Wardlow knocks him down. Wardlow uses his power to beat up Page for most of this match, I'd have to say. In the end, Page with 2 buckshot lariats and pins Wardlow, so Adam Page advances to the finals. Next, Jon Moxley says he's been defending his title, for the better part of a year now. But on the 7th, he's going to weaponize his title, whatever that means. Says there's no room for this Eddie Kingston in AEW. He's going to make Eddie utter the words, "I quit." Then we get Eddie Kingston versus Matt Sydel. Match starts off with some chain wrestling, which pisses Eddie off. Matt's using some new moves, which is even a surprise to me because you know him, or at least I know him, as a high flyer and an aerial artist. He grounded Eddie for a little bit of this match, using some new submission moves, which is a new angle for him. It's probably better that way. That way he can differentiate himself from other places he's been. Throughout the break, Eddie brutalizes Matt. Eddie puts the Bulldog choke on Matt, and Matt taps out, but Eddie will not let go until Matt utters the words, "I quit," telling Matt that, "Quit, Moxley, say I quit," thinking that Eddie is Moxley, which is weird. Next, it's Excalibur with the Young Bucks in one place, and FTR in another location in an interview. Young Bucks say they're ready for FTR. FTR says whoever wins this match will be the greatest tag team ever. Excalibur tries to talk more with the Young Bucks, but FTR decide, well, you're not going to talk to us, so we're leaving. So they left the interview. Young Bucks says if they don't win the titles at Full Gear, they will never challenge for the tag team titles again. Interesting. I remember somebody else in that clique saying that, and now they can never challenge for the world title. Cody. Then it's the Inner Circle Town Hall meeting. First to enter is the Inner Circle with Chris Jericho, and MJF follows that. Luchasaurus has a question about the benefit to the Inner Circle. MJF says he will greatly benefit the Inner Circle by making their stock rise. Britt Baker says MJF has no friends. Jericho says he might not let MJF in because he would turn on the Inner Circle almost immediately. MJF says we're here for the money and gold. Then Peter Avalon comes up to the mic and he's going to ask a question. He doesn't ask a question, though. He just blatantly asks, "Can I join the Inner Circle?" And they all laugh at him. And he walks away. And then they say that there's a question from Eric B. And out walks Bischoff. That is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. He comes out for a 3-pronged question. Says that MJF do for the Inner Circle. MJF says friendship. Then he says, what can the Inner Circle do for you? MJF says he could be a team player. MJF avoids Eric's third question. MJF MJF asked Jericho, what haven't I done? Jericho says, he hasn't beat me. Well, so Jericho says to MJF, he can join the Inner Circle if he can beat Chris Jericho at Full Gear. Very, very interesting. Next up, it's Orange Cassidy versus Cody for the TNT Championship in a lumberjack match. Right from the bell, both try to end it with their finishers. But after that, Orange out-wrestles Cody, which is quite interesting, because you know how Orange is. He's very laid back and does his little things, and he's not very serious. This time, he's very, very serious about this. Throughout the break, Cody punishes Orange knee so that he can lock in the figure 4 later. Very smart. Coming out of the break, all the Lumberjacks brawl. Meanwhile, Cody suplexes Orange onto the outside onto all the Lumberjacks. John Silver jumps into the ring and hits Orange. Then Arn punches Orange in the face. Cody hits the Crossroads to retain his title. Now, Cody never saw the punch from Arn. Is this a heel turn for Arn? This is kind of interesting. I like this. Next, Miro and Kip just beat up the best friends in the back room. So they had gifts for them for Halloween, and they just beat them up. Then Serena Deeb, it's Serena Deeb versus Layla Hirsch for the NWA Women's World Title. Now, on Tuesday, Deeb beat Thunder Rosa for the title. That's why she has the title now. Now, the rumors are that Thunder Rosa has signed with WWE. I'll have to look farther into this, but I don't think she has. But those are the rumors flying around. That's why she lost the title. It's great chain wrestling to start the match. Hirsch has some great counters from the bottom. Like she was on her back and she was countering everything that Deeb was throwing at her. After a miscue by Hirsch, Deeb locks in a half crab with an arm trap to retain her title. Next, it's Shawn Spears versus VSK, whoever that is. It's over in a matter of 10 seconds. The C4 and a pin. Shawn wins. Now, there was a character throwing out candy. He was dressed in a bull uniform. Shawn didn't like that too much, dragged him into the ring. Shawn turns to Tully to get the slug that goes in that glove that Tully gave him months ago. And when he turns back around, Scorpio Sky is underneath the mask. He takes it off. He gives Shawn Spears a TKO and walks away. Then it's main event time. It's the other semifinal match for the #1 contendership for the AEW World Championship. It's The Cleaner, Kenny Omega, versus Penta L0M. Now, Penta had advanced because Eddie earlier on, I believe on Dark, had convinced Phoenix, because he hurt himself in the previous match, to forfeit his win so that way Penta can continue on. And he says, doing it for the family. Kenny shows his AAA Mega Championship to Penta, who he won it from months ago. The Cleaner is back. Kenny proceeds to pummel Penta after that. Throughout the break, Penta gets the better of Kenny. Kenny hits a huge V-trigger but can't get 3. Penta then hits a destroyer on the outside and then a package piledriver in the ring, but only gets 2. In the end, Kenny hits a V-trigger, then a one-winged angel. So at Full Gear, it will be Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page for the #1 contendership for the AEW World Championship. Now, I forecasted this coming as soon as the brackets were announced. I mean, I saw this coming. I don't know how many of you have. Let me know in the comments how many of you saw this coming when the brackets came out. Well, that's the end of Dynamite. I hope you enjoyed the show. I thoroughly enjoyed the show, especially with the MJF and Jericho thing with the Town Hall. Both semifinal matches were good. The women's match, on the other hand, it needed more. They need to develop their women's matches better, let's just say. Other than that, the show was great. I give it 4 out of 5. So, and until next time, always be elite.